So, welcome to the iconic Riches in the Niches series, an inspirational space to educate officiants on growth gems and the importance of honing your unique style and creative offerings. I'm your host, Tiara, New Jersey officiant, owner of Royal Treatment with Tiara, and creator of the Wedding Officiant Academy. I am stoked to be having this conversation with this amazing guest, aka Superman. Please give us a formally informal introduction to yourself and your business.
I'm Legend. I am the owner, founder of Legendary Weddings. We are based in Southwest Florida, but we travel all over. But our main weddings are from like Central Florida down to South and all and the each coast, everything in between the coast. Yes.
I love that. So I am super happy to be having this conversation. But before we jump in, of course, if you know me, you know I have to give a second or two to gratitude. So I would love to invite you to a practice that I do with all of my couples and all of our meetings, a gratitude check-in. You share one thing you're grateful for. I'll share one thing I'm grateful for. We'll go into the icebreaker and then the conversation.
Very good. So I am grateful for a wonderful vendor community, right? That I guess selfishly recommends me, right? Like so, but I'm so grateful for this community that we have that's like a family that we take care of each other. And as the officiant, we're normally the last on the list, so we don't get to recommend other vendors as much as they get to, but I'm grateful for this vendor community. I had a DJ the other day, last week. I had a wedding. I forgot my shirt.
Oh, wow.
The
Was
DJ
that
gave
the
me the
first
shirt.
time?
The first time. I've never forgotten a shirt. Like I had 3 suits so that I could decide what suit I was going to wear when I get there, but I didn't have a shirt, right? Whatever, right? Stuff happens, right? You forget some things.
Yeah.
But the DJ gave me the shirt that he was going to wear so that I could wear it during the summer, right? Like, so that's just the love of this vendor community that nobody's really like sniping at each other. We're all out here just trying to do our best. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. And I think I'm going to expand on that and express some gratitude for something I've experienced for the first time. So, I had a wedding planner advocate for me. On like in their couples DM, like, this is my number one choice. This is who I want you to pick. Hey, have you hit her up yet? And I know this because she's letting me know how much she's
Mm-hmm.
advocating for me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not to say it hasn't happened before. I've definitely gotten, couples through planners and love y'all to death.
Mm-hmm.
But to see how it was happening and,
Right.
having that transparency to be like, no, I really want to work with you was just so super dope. And like I said, my first time experiencing that. So excited to build more of those type of passionate
Yes. Yes. Yes.
advocating vendor
Mm-hmm.
relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. I love that. So our icebreaker, I would love to know, and I'm sure there's plenty, but what is one thing that you love about officiating?
I love the gratitude that couples have for the art and the blood, sweat, and tears, but
Yeah. Yeah.
just all that I've put into their ceremony, right?
Mhm.
Like just that gratitude and their parents,
Yeah.
right? Like their parents are like, Legend, that was beautiful, thank you. Like coming from a parent, for me,
Yeah.
the parents loving what we do is the pinnacle, right? Because one, they're probably paying for it, and two, right? Like you only want the best for your child. That you want nothing but the best for your child. So to know that you as a parent felt that I gave them the ceremony that you would have wanted for them,
Mhm.
yeah.
I love that. And it's so true. I always say that, the audience, the guests, they go across generations, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have some younger folks there, you have some older folks there, you have some very seasoned folks there. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
the officiant, you really kind of, can appeal to, or you have the opportunity to appeal across all, generations. So I love
Yep.
that. That was great. Mm. So I would love to hear a little bit about your officiant origin story. Like, what inspired you to become an officiant, and has it changed over time?
Well, honestly, when I first started, I did it because my sister asked me to perform her ceremony, right?
Mhm.
Which is why I will never knock you having a family member or friend performing your ceremony. That would be hypocritical of me,
Yeah.
right? Um, but after, I still wasn't thinking about doing anything officiating, right? Even though I got kudos from family and whatnot. And then when speaking to a coworker when I came back to Florida about how I did my sister's wedding, she's like, you know what? Would you mind doing ours? And I did theirs. And the response from their guests was the same as at my sister's wedding. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, maybe this is something I could do, right? Still, it
Mhm.
was just something I could do, right? It still was. But the more I did it and the more I evolved and grew and really started understanding the intricacies
Yeah.
of being an officiant,
Yeah.
the more I started to love it. And the more that I saw that there was a lack of
Mhm.
what we do at the level we do, the more it was like, I have to do this even more because every couple deserves an amazing wedding. And then I just fell in love with it, right? Like, I mean, is there a better job in the world, right? Like,
No.
you're set up for success, right? The only way you can fail is all on you to fail, right? Like, everybody is rooting for you, right? Like, you have no downside except for you killing yourself, right? Like, other than that,
Yeah.
you really can't go wrong.
No, seriously. You have an opportunity to dress up, you look good, you feel good. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you said, everyone's already rooting for you. They're already
Right.
waiting for
They're
you to
hoping that you bring something good, right?
be.
Uh, and then when you deliver, and they're like, thank you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think what also is so special is that, we're in a space now where the way wedding ceremonies are being held and presented is looking different, right? Now we
Hmm.
have these storyteller aspects
Yep,
that couples are wanting. And
yep.
so guests aren't used to that, right? They're used to going to a
Correct.
church, they're used to being quiet, they're used to
Yep,
hearing more marriage advice or just,
yep.
again, like blanketed statements or quotes or, again, readings, something that's not as
You could
personalized.
say it. Boring weddings.
Right.
You could say it. You could say it. Go ahead and say it.
Right.
Yes, yes, yes. The bar is set so low
Yeah.
in in the guest expectations, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're rooting for you, but they're not expecting a lot. And
Yeah.
then you be like, ta-da! And they'll be like, oh shit. Wow. Yeah. Sorry for cursing.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure you perform quite legendary weddings. I mean, your name is literally legend. And so when you began to look at this as a business, have you always thought of incorporating your name as being a part of your business? Like, I know you didn't add too much on to the legend, but like, tell us how we got to the legendary weddings.
So, I mean, it was easy, right? But to start off with, I really didn't want my name on the business, right? Like, for the first 5, 6 years, it wasn't Legendary Weddings. It was very generic. SWFL, which is for Southwest Florida Wedding Officiant.
Okay.
Very generic, right?
Okay.
I didn't want the responsibility of my name being on it, right? So, but as I evolved and really started owning
Yeah.
what I do, at that same, before I turned it into Legendary Weddings, is when I actually started writing actual couples story, like actually writing their story. Before that, I had a pretty much a template that I used that I would
Mhm.
plug in names and maybe switch out a poem or reading here and there, but it was pretty much your standard fare of a ceremony.
Yeah.
And then I had this awakening. I've been a writer since junior high school. I had this like, dude, you're not using, you're just, this is what you're doing?
Mhm.
This? And I was like, you know what? Self, you're right. You are absolutely right, right? We need to be using these gifts that we have. And from there, when I really started owning it, I was like, okay, you know what? It's time to own it. Everybody here knows Legend, and it's like, yeah, Legendary Weddings. Okay, yeah, that, yeah. You know what? Has a good ring to it. Works perfectly.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to call it ceremonies because I didn't want to put it in a box.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Legendary Weddings will become. I have thoughts about what I want it to become, but um, I don't know what the universe really has in store for me because we ask, and universe usually gives you a whole lot more than what you ask for, right? So I just wanted to leave it. I was thinking ahead to
Yeah.
leave it open for whatever may come that I could fold up under it, under the umbrella.
I love that. That's so good. And so, I mean, as someone who also has their name in their business,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of, just being a little honey or a little
Mm-hmm.
quirky or just adding, a different element. I feel like it does kind of already bring you outside of that, sea of same SEO,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. Yes.
oceanness.
Yep. Yep.
So I just really want to encourage whoever, ends up listening to this. If you have like a quirky name or a punny name and you're, scared to go with it, I say go for it. I've seen so many dope names out here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
many dope names out here. So that was my little PSA.
Mm-hmm.
But I would
It
love
was
for
a
you.
good PSA.
Thank you. But I would love for you to talk a little bit more about recognizing those tangible talents that you had being a writer and bringing that into your business and letting that really start to be your uniqueness in your craft in which you start to take, ownership and bring passion into. And how did you recognize that? And maybe what is some advice for people who don't realize that they can transfer their talents into this business?
If I So, like I said, I've been a writer since junior high school. I also performed poetry and put on my own shows. Right.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that everything in my past has led up to this, and this is leading to something else. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, there is no there. If we all are talented in one way or another. We have a gift, and not unfortunately, not all of us actually realize our gifts, right? We're
Yeah.
walking around with these things in our back pocket and don't even realize they're there, right? So that's first and foremost. And I don't know how to tell you how to realize your talents, right? Like I
Yeah.
just know I did, right? I'm not even gonna act like I'm, this wise. I did. I was like, oh yeah, and I've write like I love writing. So the fact that I even spent, I still to this day when I think about it, kind of slap myself in the back of the head, like you spent all of this time
Yeah.
not writing. But on the
Mhm.
flip side of that, I also understand that there has to be growth in this, right? You
Yes.
can't just jump out and be the shit, right?
Yeah.
You did that just
It'll
that's
work that
very
way.
rare, right?
Right.
Um, so there when I look back and see the growth, I'm not upset at myself because there was still growth, right? So we all have talents, and it may just be that you have a really great voice that
Yeah.
people like to hear,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That in and of itself
Yeah.
is worth something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
When you have people out here that sound like Ferris Bueller's teacher, right? Like they're monotone and right. So you really need to just sit yourself down and really think about what can I bring that is unique to me
Yeah.
that will help me separate myself from everybody else.
That is such a good question. And I think a lot of times we don't really stop to ask ourselves this question, maybe because we're so busy trying to, get ourselves out there
Mm-hmm.
or build up the confidence or learn the skill or whatever, that we're not really focusing on where our uniqueness lies and how we can infuse that into the services that we're providing. And I have to share a conversation that
This is
was
iced tea, by the way, in
okay.
case anybody's wondering.
Listen, this is a judgment-free zone, okay? But yeah, I have to share a story that I was, grateful to have this conversation at the beginning of my officiant career, but I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to a woman who, works in the sales piece, and you know how they give you that 15-minute call
Mm-hmm.
before they sell you. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to utilize all 15 of the minutes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to get what I'm coming for.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm having this, conversation, and just a little bit about my background. I come from a healthcare background. I used to work in a hematology oncology floor. I also worked as a case manager for a program that dealt with opioid abuse disorder for people who are
Okay.
just getting out of prison. So
Mm-hmm.
very much supported people at very, traumatic and hard
Mm-hmm.
times in their life. And so for me, I've learned a very holistic approach to life, and I'm very big on gratitude and, slowing down and being present and stuff because of how I've supported people during tougher times.
Mm-hmm.
And so just me speaking about that, she brought it to my attention that I can bring that into my business because as officiants, we have this really unique opportunity to slow the couple down and remind us that this is about them and this is about their
Mm-hmm.
story. And while these other things are going on floating around you, this time in this space, this is just for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe the reception got a little bit of your grandpa, your cousin, or somebody else in there, but this space is just for us. And so infusing something like gratitude check-ins, I am inviting my couples into this practice that I've seen impact, when they're like, oh yeah, I do this just on my own, now.
Yeah.
And it helped me throughout the stressful moments to remember, yeah, I am doing this for, X, Y, and Z reasons. And it's just something that small, come from my work in healthcare, but brought it over, and the impact has been incredible. So I take it with me everywhere in my interviews and, and everywhere I go. So
To
yeah,
me, you are a light, right? Like and I think you recognize that you are a light, right? And that to me is something that you can't even train, right? There's no way to train and become a light. You just have to be that. In that, I'm a light. That's not a brag, but I know it. I realize it, right? That in and of itself, in the space
yeah,
that we work in,
yeah,
is so necessary. Well, I'll put it like it's necessary for those couples that feel that their ceremony is important, right?
yes, yes, yes,
If you don't
nuance,
care, you just
right?
right.
Yeah,
But being a light in that space in a time when a couple is their energy is all over the place, you bring that calm, and you're a healer.
yeah,
You're also a healer, right? So having that energy is
yeah,
so important. It is
yeah,
so important. And
yeah,
to bring that energy, that you can't market it. You can't even tell a couple about it, right? Like you can't even, like, it's not, but it's just part of you. That's part of the extra added sauce that couples are like, you made our day amazing, and I can tell from your energy that you are that.
yeah. Yeah, that's real. I appreciate that. Thank you. But it's true, and it does make a difference. But I think it's that confidence of knowing, like you said, like what you come with and sitting down and seeing how do you want to impact the couple's day. And
Hmm.
for me, I don't want just, a really great
Impact. That's a good
impact.
word. Impact.
Yes.
That's a good word.
Yeah, it's not just for me like the ceremony experience, it's the planning, it's all the
Mm-hmm.
meetings leading up to and stuff like that. And once you figure out what you want your focus to be and how again you want to impact people, what energy you want to exchange with them,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that you bring yours and whether it's top notch and you elevate them or you help level it out, whatever it is, you're going to be able to hone that and really own it,
Mm-hmm.
to realize and sit down and be like, okay, what do I bring that's different? What is it about me? What are my tangible talents or things I've learned from my workplace or somewhere else
Yep.
that I can now really integrate and make a difference?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's so good. I love that. I love that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the role of the officiant. I
Mm.
see a lot of discourse about what our role is, what our responsibilities are. Are we, overstepping or doing too much? And what does really going above and beyond as an officiant, and particularly for your business, because that's something that we see you doing so much. Especially we don't talk about the glasses. The reason why we're
Grinding.
right.
Yes.
But you're not just standing around waiting for the ceremony to start, right? You're in these spaces seeing how you can help. And so I want you to speak how that separates you from others.
That again is the energy that you bring, right? Like I'm at weddings probably 2 hours before the ceremony starts.
Mm,
Contractually, I'll tell the couple I'm there an hour beforehand, right? But I'm there at least 2 hours in advance because the synergy between myself and the other vendors to create magic for the couple is important, right? And for me, I like to be in the space for a little bit to just be in the space,
yeah.
right? Not
Yeah.
just show up and okay, I gotta run to the ceremony, open my book, I gotta read. No, I'm very easy, laid back, right? So I like to settle into the space and really get a feel and have my energy touch everyone, right? And really just bring that light so that when we all come together in the ceremony time, we're making magic for this couple, and your parents have already met me, right? Like there's groundwork that's laid
Yeah.
in the because I'm most likely have not made it to rehearsal, right? So the only
Mhm.
people I've met are the couple, right? So being there early, I get to talk with the groomsmen, with the bridesmaids, with the couple, with their parents, with the vendors, and tie up loose ends, collect the vows, collect the
Mhm.
marriage license, right? Like, but through all of that, I'm just pollinating, right? I'm a little bee, just flying around, just pollinating, right? And that starts creating,
The
that
buzz.
starts laying the groundwork for the
Yeah.
experience that's coming. And
It's
then we
great.
get to the ceremony and we just polish that mofo off, right? And it just go out there and give the people what they want. And then half hour later it's toodles, right? Don't overstay the welcome. We've I will be soon overstaying my welcome, but adding on to it, right? But it just there's for me it's just part of the process of being there early, of just pollinating and sharing this energy
Yeah.
before the big show, so that first of all the couple's nerves have reduced because they see me, right? Like I see the relief on your face, like okay, he's here, this is going to be fantastic, right? They can breathe now, right? So it's important to just be there for me early and just doing the groundwork before the ceremony starts.
I love how you use the terminology pollinating. So good. So good. Because
Thank
when
you.
you think
Thank you.
about it, yeah, no, really, because it is. And then even I think scientifically, right, when bees do that, like you leave a little something behind,
Mm-hmm.
right? Each
Mm-hmm.
step. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. It's almost
Or at
like,
least that's what I remember from the side.
yeah.
It might be wrong. I could have it, but that's yeah.
But it's almost like you're like, leaving your mark or leaving your impression or
Yes.
again, just kind of building up that anticipation and be like, oh, okay, well, he seems pretty cool. Like now I'm excited to see what he's going to say.
Right. Yes.
It's like
Yes.
that, yeah, that added again, and the ceremony has its own level, like it has its own energy, it has its own vibe, it has its own level of anticipation and excitement, and that you can't really characterize, and it doesn't happen, anywhere else throughout the day. Like it's its own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you asked about the officiant's role.
Yeah.
The officiant's role is to be the orchestrator, the maestro, the director of that ceremony from the moment that first person in the bridal party starts walking down, the parents, grandparents, that first person starts walking down to the last person. We own that, and we should own that, and we should take ownership and stand up in it
Yeah.
so that the rest of the industry can take a step back. Planners in general, and that's not a shot at planners. It's they are not used to officiants that they can just trust and let them be.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a lot of planners here that I'll show up at rehearsal and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, you know what, Legend? Can you run the rehearsal?" And it's like they could go do something else, right?
Yeah.
Like so, uh, we our role is to own that space
Mhm.
with dignity, with pride, with consciousness, with intention, so
Mhm.
that, and that's part of what makes the ceremony amazing, because the guests already look to you for
Mhm.
guidance because you're the minister,
Yeah.
right? And I,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah.
so if you don't own it, they can tell. It just people can feel your energy. So
Mhm.
if you go up there with some confidence in owning your space, then you're that's part of the battle won right there.
No, that's so good. And there's just two things I wanted to add on. So I was at the New York City AMM Officiant Accelerator,
Mm-hmm.
and Chris Shelley was speaking about basically similar to what you're saying, kind of owning the room before the ceremony even starts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
using that beforehand time, like we always hear about, yeah, go there early, do the mic check and, check in with the couple, the planner, the venue team, get the marriage license, stuff like that. But also utilizing that time, leveraging that time to get the guests on your side beforehand, like you said,
Yes.
get the vendors on your side beforehand. And to your point, just kind of like go around and like pollinate,
Mm-hmm.
and really create this buzz. And I can imagine again how that adds to the energy in the room for the ceremony when your guests are already so like not just excited to see you get married, but like want to know what you're going to say. Like, okay,
Uh-huh.
what are you going to
Uh-huh.
say? You know?
And fully expecting to be bored.
Yes.
Yes.
Rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the exciting piece about it. So, one thing I've noticed, and I would love for you to speak to, because you're the only person I've ever seen do this, is I see that you handwrite your scripts, or like
Mm-hmm.
you perform with a handwritten script. So I would love to hear, just the story behind that. And yeah, how did you go to handwritten? Because people be fighting about the iPad. I'm
Yeah.
paper. paper and ink, and you with the handwritten. I was like, you know what? He's another caliber. Like this has to be a conversation.
So I don't know anybody else that handwrites either, right? I just and I this is not a endorsement for handwriting because it is a pain in the butt, right? Writing out the entire ceremony is written out, and I have my own shorthand of things in there, right? But I've always written from the get go. I've always written because I'm old and I've always written, right? Like I am from the era before computers were in your pockets, right? Like
Right.
computers were in school when I was, in school, right? That's what, and if you were rich, you had this big ass box of a computer at home, right? We were not, so the only place, right? So I've always been a writer. So even as I became an adult and I was still writing poetry, and when I write, and writing is almost handwriting is almost a lost art, but there's so much intimacy in handwriting. The same way you receive a handwritten note, right? You take that to mean a whole lot more because of all of the effort that was put into actually writing something out, right? Especially in this day when nobody does it, right? Um, so I've always written, and for me, it is a final edit point because I write up the ceremony the night before or the morning of, right? So it's a final. I create the scripts and everything on the computer, right? The only time you're right. The night before, the morning of, I handwrite it out because that's my final edit where I might change a word. I'll be like, oh, you know what? Here's a better word for that. And I've probably written at least 5 other scripts in between writing the one for today,
Yeah.
and now today's here, right? So I need to clear everybody else out of my head and get back intimate with the story that I wrote for this couple, right? And it's different from the last 5 that I wrote, right? Like, so I need to clear all of that out and get back to this so that my only focus is this couple for these next 36 hours, right? So handwriting, and it's appreciated when couples see that it's just like when you receive a handwritten note, they see that and they're like, okay, that is next level. That's I can't believe you did. And even other vendors, when they see me, when I talk to when I go through the walkthrough in the beginning of before the ceremony begins, as I take them through, they're like, dude, you wrote all of that out, like it's but
Yeah, that's how I do it.
it's part of my process.
Yeah.
And it is a pain in the butt. I have to write a paragraph, walk away, stretch my fingers out, come back to it. But I don't see me ever not writing it out unless I get arthritis or whatever. I have used the iPad before when I was in a bind. For me, it just feels unnatural. Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but
Yeah.
for me, it just feels unnatural.
Yeah. I just thought that was so dope. I just thought that was so dope. And I was just like,
Thank you.
this man really write out these ceremonies. You're just like thinking to yourself, like, oh my gosh, like, and then when you're explaining just the connectiveness behind the
Mm-hmm.
reasoning why, it's like, okay, that makes 10 times more sense. It's not just for it to look cool on his camera glasses. No,
No, no, no, no. I mean, if
right.
that is part of what happens, but no, it's just part of the process. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And that's so fly. And so
Thank you.
I cannot mention the camera glasses. Like, you know what? As we're talking on the train of how legendary is so legendary, let's
Uh-huh.
just keep going. Let's
I
just keep
appreciate it.
going.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes,
Yes.
I have props. So yes, the glasses.
I love them.
I do too, and the only reason I got them initially was because so many times a guest would come up to me so passionately after the ceremony, telling me how amazing the ceremony was, and I'm sitting there listening to them like, I wish I had this on camera. Oh, this would be amazing if people could if I could just tell people, yeah. So for a while, I was looking for spyglasses. Like I didn't know what, like I was looking for spyglasses. I bought a pair. They were crappy. They were some off. I don't even. I forgot where I got them. And then I started seeing the ads for the Ray-Bans, right? And I was like, And it took me a while to pull the trigger on it, but then it was like, it's $300. Like, how could it? It's not expensive, right? And even Deb has a pair, so we'll start seeing, some footage from her videos. She's practicing with them, right? So, yeah, content. We got to be freaking content creators, right? I didn't know when I signed up for this job that I also had to do content creation, right? But here we are.
Literally.
Yeah.
But I think, again, just the thought process, right? Because I too have had these moments where I'm like, and if only I had my, my cameraman right behind me. You know what I mean? Like, I want like Jerry Springer level cameraman. Like I want everywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
all up in here. Yeah.
You can overhear them talking about me and like running up behind them. That's what I would know.
Yeah.
But I just love that aspect. And then, of course you get like that officiant POV, right? So it's not just us seeing how like we see during the ceremony, it's also seeing, you being greeted by the venue, you being greeted by the other vendors, you being greeted by the family and the bridal party. You just get to see the warmness all throughout. And it's just such a creative way to show what we can't put on paper of all the things that we do, that I feel like officiants struggle with. How can I show all the value that I have and all the things that it feels invisible that happens? How? And you're like, hey, Ray-Bans, like, but yeah,
problem solved. Right. Problem solved. Here we go. Yep.
Welcome.
And I just bought a drone.
See, yeah, next level. Yep.
We have to. Well, what I figure is that everybody will have the Ray-Bans at some point, right? Like it's going to become popular, and then it's niche now, right? Because not everybody has it, right? But soon, at the low price that they charge, and they just keep upgrading and making more, everybody will have them. So we have to keep growing and try to stay ahead of the curve and try to, as those of us that have found a way to separate ours or rise, right, to the we got to keep doing that. We got to keep doing it. You can't just rise and stay there, because you just got to keep going. Yeah.
No, that is, oh my gosh, that's so true. Oh man, I was talking with Jeff Mack about that too. Like, you just kind of have to keep separating yourself, keep going. You have this rad idea, this dope idea, see it through, because you never know. And the fact that you have it and other people
not doing it work, so be it. So be it. You learn, as long as you learn from it, right? Because something in there worked. Maybe the whole thing didn't work, but something worked that you can take into the next idea. And we got to be damn content creators. So it's and your content has to be good, right? Like, even if it's good, you may still suck on Instagram. Like, it's just it's. I could go on and on. I got beef with Instagram a little bit. Yeah.
It's very layered. But, again, I have to speak to your creativity, even the content that you do put out there. Like, you can see the effort that you take. Listen, you're doing like editing like both of you. And it's like, I know you ain't got no twin, so.
Right. I appreciate the appreciation, really, because
I know the work that goes into it. I can't imagine overlay, and I gotta really, you know what I mean? So it is a lot. It is a lot.
Yep. Yeah. You got to
There's a
get your lighting right so
right.
that, you don't look like yeah.
Let alone
Yeah.
getting your lines right.
Let alone getting your lines right and not your eyes not diverting to the paper as it, yeah. But on the flip side,
Mhm.
we could be paying advertising elsewhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And you probably wouldn't be able to be as expressive and show as much of yourself in
Yeah.
any other advertising platform,
That's very
right? So I complain, but yeah.
have to say that it probably does produce more qualified leads, right? I would assume because, like, they're again getting your personality kind of
Yeah,
upfront, seeing how
yeah.
you are, with people
It
up
does.
front. Yeah,
It does pay off. And I've gotten over the hump of the metrics, right? Staring at the metrics, right? I'm human. I look at the metrics, right? But I have figured out just through the couples that have come to me through Instagram that those 25 likes don't really mean anything.
yeah,
Your reach definitely means something, right? Like you gotta get that reach, right? Engagement doesn't mean anything these days because most people don't engage, right? So don't get caught up in the engagement. Hope that you put up content, that you get the reach, and know that it is your best work, right? Like, and know, like you're putting it out. It's not just for these next few hours. You're putting it out there, and it's going to live there, and it's going to reach if you putting the intention in. And I, I have strategy in my reels, right? Like there is a point to what I'm doing because I know that this is going to reach somebody that's going to be like, I like this dude. I need to give him a call, right? I'm not worried about the likes. As long as Instagram just keeps pushing it, somebody's going to see that and they're going to see another video and they're going to be like, okay, yeah, he is who he says he is.
yeah,
Yeah. And his reviews, oh my God, his reviews. And yeah, okay, we got it. And then I just told the planner that I was thinking about calling him and she was like, oh my God, you have to call
yeah,
him. And
yeah,
so it's all connected
yeah,
in your entire branding and
yeah,
marketing strategy. You
yeah,
have to really you can't just put stuff out there. Like you can, but
yeah, right, right.
yeah.
You want to see a return. You want to see a return some way, somehow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So I want to ask, I saw that you recently hosted DJ Malik's fifth
Mm.
celebration, yes, for Cura Entertainment. So
Co-hosted.
yes, co-hosted.
Co-hosted. Yes.
And
That
so
is, yeah,
how
sorry,
was
ask your question.
yes.
Yes.
So how was that? And do you see MC services, added to your offerings? Is it currently added to your offerings? Because I personally am starting to see an increase of male officiants specifically adding MC services to their offerings.
So, yes, I am in the process of figuring out because we have to separate ourselves, right? We still have to separate it. So, I'm in the process of honing and figuring out who I am in that space, right? It's on the menu where it's simmering, right? I'm working with a few DJs who have MCs on their team just to kind of get a feel for it and understand it. I
Yeah.
hosted my own poetry shows, right? So
Okay.
I have that understanding of how to host, but all of the particulars that happen
Yeah.
at the reception that I'm never there for, right? It's just a matter of how can I help the couple make this amazing, right? How can I show them different things that they can do so that they don't just have to assume that they have to do the Garda twist or
Yeah.
the Garda.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, So it came about because DJ Malik is my brother in this industry. We have grown up together. He is younger than me, but he started before I did, right?
Okay.
In his journey. And I have the utmost love and respect for this dude and
Yeah.
what he has become and who he
Yeah.
is to the industry, right?
Fire. Yeah.
Uh, I'm proud of him. I'm glad that I can say I know him. Like I know that dude. I knew him when he was, back in the day, right? So he called me one day and he was like, dude, he's one of my guardian angels in the industry as well, right?
Mhm.
So he called me one day and he was like, dude, I got this idea. I got this party happening. I already told you you should be emceeing, right? And when
Mhm.
Malik speaks, I listen, right? And so he was like, I want you to come co-host my 5 year anniversary party. And I was like, say less.
Yeah.
I'm there, right? And that experience, that was an amazing experience. And you really, as a host, when what I'm realizing as a host and at the reception, you and your DJ, you have to work together, right? So you have to understand your role. And DJ Malik he's energetic. He's a ball of energy, but
Yeah.
he's a brilliant, brilliant light, right?
Yeah.
So I went into that not really knowing how my role would play out, but
Mhm.
knowing that I could sit there and figure it out along the way, right?
Yeah.
And I was the Robin to his Batman, and I had no problem with that, right? Like first of all, this is your
Right.
anniversary, right? And your energy, like we can balance each other, right? So I was there to play whatever role played out, and I think I did a very good job, and it was a great experience. Not to, and I don't mean to like it, but
You got it.
yeah, um, I don't say that pompously, uh, but it really gave it took me back to my days when I would put on shows,
Yeah. That's
so
fire.
that I can transfer that into right. There's just all these little
Yeah.
I'm gifted. I got all these gifts in my, backpack that I can use, right? Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's really dope. That's really dope. Yeah, I had the pleasure of experiencing DJ Malik at Wedding Pro had not a social, but their Wedding Pro experience in West Palm
Mm-hmm.
Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a chance to not only party, because boy was we
Yep.
partying, okay?
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
but a couple of us was able to just, end up chopping it up after and,
Yep.
got to know each other a little bit more. So once I saw that connection between you two, I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
so that's Superfly. Love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, could have worse friends, right? I mean, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's my dude.
No, that's what's up. I love that. So I would love for you to just share any advice for, officiants, whether they are maybe on the side hustle side and they're thinking about making it more professional in a business, or they're at the beginning of their officiant career and they're trying to see, is this really a business? Because I think sometimes there's a little confusion there too. And
Mm-hmm.
as someone with, a decade plus in the officiant game, definitely an OG out here. So we would love to hear, yes, what is some legendary advice for longevity?
I would say don't think about the longevity.
On that.
Don't think about the success.
Yeah.
Don't think about what's to come. Focus on being your best every single time you step out there for a couple, right? Just give your all and be your best, and you will see that it will come. Or that's what happened for me, right? Just putting your head down and just loving what you do, but like giving that love and putting so much in it that it's felt by everyone that is listening to you, by the couple, but there's be love, right? Like that is my secret. To just be love.
Yeah.
And that will take you so far that you'll look up and you'll be like, oh crap, I'm I'm
Look at where
successful.
I am.
And it's
Yeah.
yeah, oh wow. Hey,
Mhm.
you know me? Wow. Okay, you know it, and it's
Mhm.
just give your all and be loved, because that will definitely translate into everything else. You will reap the rewards from all of that.
Yeah. You know, that's some sound advice.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Because I think there is always this one in entrepreneurship, there's this hustle culture and everything is, moving fast and thinking about tomorrow and exit plans and, Q4, you're thinking about the whole Q4. And, some people are struggling with, again, figuring out, all right, what are my top three today? How am I moving the needle today? What am I doing to push my business forward or exposing my business to more people or bringing more
Hmm.
visibility or whatever today? So I love that the focus was, again, today, and then be
You
the
can't look at
best.
that calendar. You can't. Don't
Right.
look at that empty calendar.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Don't do that, because I get it. There's bills to be paid,
Yeah.
but you looking at that empty calendar is putting focus on that empty calendar, and you're
Yeah.
going to only bring more of that to yourself. So
Yeah.
focus on what you have and being your best in what you have, and they will come. They will come. They definitely will come.
Oh man, that was so fire. So I just want to thank you for one, sharing your time. Um, People will know this. This is actually our second interview. So, just because there were so many dope gems on the first one, and I do feel like this one we talked a little bit kind of about different things.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
do want people to know that there's
We
both, and we're
did talk about other things on the
yeah,
other one. Yeah, we could
yeah.
sit here and talk for hours,
I know,
right? Like, I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know. And so as people watch this, I want them to come up with, just more ideas, more things that they want us to, kind of talk about in the legend. Maybe we can have you again and again have more specific conversations that we can really
Absolutely.
like, dial in more. But before we head out, I would love to know if there's any ways that any officiants can get in contact with you, whether you, offer any type of, mentorship or anything like that, that they can get access to you.
Yep. So as officiants do today, DM me. I respond to my DMs. It might not be within the hour. It might not be today, because I might not see the message, but know for certain that if you send me a message looking for help, or you just have questions, I am an open book. I am here to help. I currently don't charge for coaching, right? Like I didn't have a me when I was growing in this industry. So to help other officiants kind of hone their skills faster, if I can help do that, I am here. So I am at Legendary Weddings on Instagram, Facebook. I don't really go on Facebook that often. Don't tell Facebook. I'm mainly on Instagram. That's really where I live. So if you DM me, I'll definitely reply to you, or info@legendaryweddings.com. You know,
There you go.
yeah,
Well, Legend, thank you so much again for just spreading not only your wisdom, but your light. Okay. You
I
definitely
appreciate you.
dropped so many gems. For me, I love the language of pollinating. I use the language of seed planting, but it
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
essentially the same. The whole
It all works in the same.
like,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So, I pray for all of the seeds that were planted today that they bloom beautifully and they only will if you nurture them. So that's
And the
my
same for you, my
yeah.
dear.
Thank you. Okay, y'all. I will see you on the next episode. Bye.